Let's talk about Palantir. Palantir, Monday after the market closes, will report its latest quarterly figures. Then we're going to have the earnings call as well. This is the first time since the company went public where I have 0 shares in my portfolio. Now, my selfish demand is, of course, the company reports a good quarter, not good enough, and the stock goes down quite a lot, and I get to re-enter and buy more shares than before. I know it's selfish, but that's what I want to see. Now, will that happen? I don't know. There's definitely a lot of momentum with the stock and the company, which is what we are going to discuss in this video. Current state of the company, the stock, and the predictions. So if you're interested in all of that, hit all the buttons. We really appreciate that. I'll probably go on Amit's channel for the live stream, although I'll probably be on the train, so it's going to be a mobile stream. But okay, this train thing was not planned. I completely forgot, but never mind. Anyways, if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So right now, at the time of making this video, Palantir has a market cap of 187, close to $188 billion, a forward PE of 178.4 times. Of course, you know, this company wasn't really profitable that long ago, but yes, the forward PE is quite high. EV to sales is quite high as well at 55.4 times. But don't remember, these metrics, pricing metrics, are based on analysts' expectations. Because if analysts suddenly expect this company to grow 30% year over year, then of course that metric here will come down unless the stock goes up much more. Just so you know, right? These things, the PEs and all of that, are based on analyst expectations. So these things can change quite drastically quarter after quarter and all of that. So we can see here that analysts still expect this company to not grow 30% year on year, which again is quite ridiculous in my opinion. EPS growing a little bit faster than that. We will see that free cash flow is actually expected to grow in fiscal 26 faster than revenue. The current average analyst price target sits 35.25% lower than the price we're at today. And to be honest, if we reach that number in the 50s, low 50s, I'll definitely open a position in Palantir. And these are the current estimates for the upcoming quarter. The growth rates here are quarter over quarter, not year over year. Very important to note. And yes, you do see that gap. They did adjust it a little bit because of the SARS impact for the quarter. Still 3 cents, I believe. We spoke with Emir on Friday in the earnings preview. It's probably going to come maybe even closer to 1 cent. So that's going to be down over 46% quarter over quarter. Now in Q4, a lot of things happened, which of course you can find all of it thanks to Palantir bullets here. This is from Arnie, my Italian brother. So you can see here all the summaries, all the contracts, the announcements that happened in Q4. So it's quite clear that government continues to do quite well for Palantir. We also had, of course, other announcements, but you can see here from the contracts, most of them come from, well, the defense. So government, in my opinion, will continue its way up. You can find the link to Palantir bullets in the description and in the pinned comment. Now here we can see the expected growth rates for free cash flow. We've seen what is expected to happen for revenue, still quite conservative in my opinion. For free cash flow in fiscal 25, it's expected to grow 23.1%, which is slower than revenue. And then in fiscal 2026, grow by 31.1%, so a solid reacceleration. Now, what do I expect from the business? Well, first of all, government revenue, I expect that to continue to accelerate, right? First of all, because the year-over-year comparisons are going to be extremely easy for government. For commercial, that's a different story. For commercial, the year-over-year comparisons are a bit more difficult, right? Because the same quarter last year, that was a 32% year-over-year growth quarter. So a bit more difficult than the government one. And I do think that government will continue to grow for the next coming quarters. And that will become a very, very big chunk of Palantir's future revenue as well. Not just because of the defense, but also for all the other government agencies, thanks to Doge. Which is, by the way, also something Fundstrat Tom Lee has said in one of his late presentations back in 2024. Doge sectors impacted by Department of Government Efficiency, negative impact in healthcare, negative impact in government contractors, but a very positive impact in productivity providers such as Palantir. If we look specifically to US government, a US commercial, here again you can see that US government has accelerated since the December quarter of last year. So here again, we're going to have very, very easy year-over-year comparisons for the next couple of quarters, actually for the next 3 quarters or so. So I expect that trend to continue. The orange line will continue to go up and to the right. For commercial, it's going to be, well, a bit more difficult because remember that quarter was that 70% year-over-year growth. But remember that comparison was very, very easy because the same quarter in 2022 was an extremely, extremely weak one. With regards to the deals, and this is something we touched also on Friday's live stream, we can see that last quarter there were 104 deals of at least $1 million, which is more than the 96 deals of at least $1 million in Q2. So when we hear Alex Karp saying that they're not really going for quantity but quality, this does not reflect that just yet. What I do expect to continue, and this has been a positive trend, this is something that we followed. Total RPO has continued to grow and actually reaccelerated, as you can see right here from my wonderful handwriting on a digital screen here. We can see that from Q2 to Q3, growth reaccelerated by quite a lot. As for billings, we are also at above 14% quarter-over-quarter growth. And as for net dollar retention, last quarter that was 118%, which as you can see has also followed a very positive trend since we bottomed out here at 107%. So let's see if we can continue with that, maybe reach even 120, 119%. That would be the highest since, well, the June 2022 quarter. You can also see that total customer count continues to grow, but more on that in just a second. As for Q4 guidance, we can already see here that Palantir's own guidance is quite conservative because the number that we've seen is already higher than that. The consensus numbers when they announced that guidance was 27.6% year-over-year growth, so even less than in Q3. We all expect them to provide us with another 30%, at least 30% year-over-year growth, so the number should be much closer to $800 million for the quarter. At least that's our expectation, of course. Now going back to the customer count. So we did talk about that when I did the review 3 months ago, but we also did talk about that on Friday. What we have seen here with regards to US commercial customers is that the quarter-over-quarter growth started to decelerate since Q4 of 2023. As you can see, 22%, then 19%, then 13%, and then 9%. So hopefully we do see a bottoming out in Q3, and hopefully that number in Q4 becomes, well, not 8 or 7, but maybe 10 or 11. We've said the same for the net addition of customers. As you can see, back here, Q3 2023, we started to go back up. We started to reaccelerate a little bit, 44, then 57, but then in Q2 2024, suddenly we drop from 57 net addition of customers to 39 to then 36. I think in Q4, we're going to see that number back above 40, or at least that's what I expect the company to show us, especially because of all the momentum that we're seeing with the business. Last quarter, just like with many quarters before that, we know that the international side of the business is getting hit because of Europe, right? Last quarter, that was a 7% sequential decline because of the continued headwinds in Europe and a step down in revenue from a government-sponsored enterprise in the Middle East. With Europe, I do still expect some headwinds, but yeah, you're going to reach a point where we are going to be quite close to the bottom, and how much lower can this thing go? But with Donald Trump coming in with some conversations about Europe and AI and regulations, and some countries in Europe really tired of being behind, maybe things can change. Maybe things can change going forward. I don't think it's going to happen just like that in 1 quarter or 2. But if we suddenly see headwinds turn into tailwinds, especially in Europe, well, that could definitely, again, boost a business like Palantir, not just from a government side of things, but from commercial as well. Yes, we know that Palantir is still, in some countries, in some mainstream media's view, is still a black box that helps government agencies and stuff like that. And people might not want to be attached to the name Palantir, but eventually, as these companies will see more and more of their competitors adopt Palantir, see better results, costs coming down, revenue going up, they're going to say, actually, you know what, enough with this woke ideology and stuff like that. It's hurting our wallet, so maybe it's time for us to actually make the switch. So again, headwinds turning into tailwinds. Now, Right now, I think we can all admit that the stock is not cheap at all. It's actually quite expensive. We can all admit that. Even if you're an Uber bull, everybody knows it's not a cheap stock. And so the expectations are quite high. I think if anything comes under 30% year-over-year growth for revenue, I think the stock does take a big hit. Now, will that happen? Probably not. I still think they can achieve 30% growth, maybe even a little bit above that as well, because of all the momentum and definitely because of the government side of things. Remember, all the focus was on commercial, right? AIP bootcamps and all of that. Oh, commercial is the next big thing. But no, actually government is one that is going to make this company quite a lot of money, especially as they diversify a bit more. Not just defense, but healthcare and other government agencies. I think that's going to boost the business. Now, as for the stock itself, it does seem, again, whoever is here is a technical analysis genius, please correct me in the comment section. But previously we were overbought for a long period of time. So again, that same thing that I've been saying time and time again, you can stay overbought for an extremely long period and have the stock go up actually double in that same amount of time. Now, what we do see here is that back here, late 2024, we were also around $84, $85, but RSI was much higher than where it was here on Friday. Could this be a double top and a bearish signal? Maybe. Again, there is the earnings report, so even if on a technical analysis basis this might be bearish, maybe because of the earnings report, things can be different, or maybe things can accelerate on the downside or the upside. Right now, the 200-day moving average sits at $46.69. We've seen the stock did rebound after it dropped under the 50-day moving average. At the time of making this video, the 50-day sits at $68.6 and the 20-day one at $73.5. And yes, the stock on the weekly is a little bit overbought. So all in all, that's about it. I think Palantir beats on Monday. Will it be enough to keep the stock up? I think that remains to be seen, especially with regards to a guidance for 2025. Are we going to see that big 30% number for the whole year or not? Plus some comments in the earnings call. Hopefully there are more than two analysts, not just Dan Ives and Mariana. I do hope we finally get a bit more questions and answers during that earnings call. And of course, selfishly, I hope that the stock does go down closer to that 200-day moving average so I can get back in. But I'm selfish. I know. Don't have to tell me that in the comment section. So anyways, that's all I've got for you right now. Write your expectations down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.